everybody, and welcome to Better Love and Sex. I am your host, Devi Ward, and I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me once again. You keep coming back for more, and I so appreciate it. As we have another conversation about how we can awaken, heal, and transform our sexuality so that we can have more love and better sex in our lives. I was thinking this evening about the show, and I was thinking about my favorite aspect of talking about sex is I love talking about the techniques because I'm a technique junkie, and it's fun, the how-to. I really get off on the how-to. But even more than that, I really get off on the connection that our sex has to our personal growth and our mind-body-spirit connection. I love the fact that sex is not only good for our bodies, it creates all these amazing hormones and neurotransmitters and chemicals in the body that make us feel happier and healthier, boosts our immune system. There's all these amazing benefits of sex, healthy sexual expression. It's actually good for us. I love that. That's amazing. But also that it translates, it has a direct effect on our personal growth and our connection to our spirituality, our connection to our sense of self, our self-empowerment. When we feel more connected to our sexuality, more healed, more free of shame and guilt, not only can we have more pleasure and freedom of expression in the bedroom, but it blows me away how that translates to every other area of our lives. I see that in myself, and I continue to see that in so many of my students and so many people around me, how when we heal our sex, our lives truly begin to blossom in really amazing, epic ways. So I thank you all for wanting to be on this journey and joining us all on this journey, because it is an integral part to, I believe, to world peace. I'm going to say it again. Happy people make a happy planet, and having a enriching and fulfilling and loving connection to our sexuality has a profound effect upon our disposition and helps us be happier and healthier, like we said. So along those lines, we have one of this amazing, amazing guest this evening, Candice Holdorf. She's one of my favorite teachers, is the word I'm looking for, teachers around female sexuality and orgasm. So this evening, we have the pleasure to be talking with Miss Candice Holdorf. And Candice is a writer. She's an incredible writer. I've been reading her work and following her work for a couple years now. She's just a brilliant, brilliant writer. And she's a teacher of sexuality and feminine orgasm. And she specializes in the practice of orgasmic meditation. And I can't wait to hear more about that. She is a regular contributor to the Good Men Project and ElephantJournal.com, and she also maintains her own blog, The Orgasmic Life. So I'm going to invite you to all check that out, TheOrgasmicLife.com. She is currently working on her first book, and this is one of the reasons she's on the show, is to share with us what this book is about, because her goal is to transform the way we approach female sexuality and female orgasm and female eroticism. And it's called From 6 to 9 and Beyond, Widening the Lens of Feminine Eroticism. Welcome, Candice. Thank you so much for being here.
Wow, what an introduction. I'm just so thrilled. I'm like, wow, you said a teacher, and my heart was like, oh my God, I worship you, Devi. And so I'm just so touched. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And you are such a teacher for me in so many ways. I'm not joking. I'm not just buttering you up. I
totally.
really love your writing, and I really learned so much about it. And yeah, I just honor you as an amazing writer. So that's not me brown-nosing.
Yeah. I get it. I feel the truth. I just really appreciate it.
So, I hear a lot about orgasmic meditation. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of superficially aware of what it is, but I haven't ever had an in-depth kind of user's guide or instructor of it share with me what they love about it. So I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to share with our listeners a little bit about what orgasmic meditation is and why you love it.
I'd love to do that. So just on a very, straight, basic, technical level description, orgasmic meditation is a 15-minute meditative practice where one person, can be a man or a woman, strokes the upper left-hand quadrant of a woman's clitoris and simply focuses on the sensations in the body. So from the outside, when you hear that description, it's kind of like, well, that sounds like kind of, I don't know, boring or, well, you know, or, yeah, no, for some people it might sound exciting. But the way that the analogy that I like to give is, well, when you see people in like Vipassana or in seated meditation, from the outside, it looks like, well, they're just sitting there. But when you're in the experience yourself, you are learning to slow down and to feel and to really get present to every single sensation available in the body. A lot of us go through sex like we're, you know, trying to eat really fast. Like, oh, I've got 15 minutes to just like eat really fast and go do the next thing. And OM, or orgasmic meditation, or OM, helps us to slow down and really feel the amount of pleasure and orgasm available in every stroke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love that focus on the sensations in the body. I mean, that is just so key. It's like somatic awareness or somatic experiencing.
Absolutely. You know, It takes us out of the, oh my God, I've got to get it right, or oh my God, I've got to climax, or oh, I hope I'm not making an ugly face. It strips all that away. So you're simply in direct contact with orgasm. And
pleasure. Yeah.
And pleasure. Well, yeah. Orgasm and pleasure.
Amen. They go hand like, yes. Yep. Ebony and ivory. They go hand in hand. Absolutely. So what is it that you personally love about orgasmic meditation?
Well, I can give you just a little bit of, background about me. What drew me to orgasmic meditation was the idea of expanding my experience of orgasm beyond that, like 30 seconds of like, woo, climax, yay, to 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and beyond. So the idea of like having kind of this rolling, expansive experience of orgasm was just so appealing to me. And I realized that I had been using a lot of, sex and climax as a way to expel energy from my body rather than allowing it to build up to higher and higher peaks. I just kind of was like, oh, I got to get this energy out as soon as possible.
Kind of like jerking off.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And having a fun jerk every once in a while is fun and nice, but it's good to know the entire array of orgasmic possibilities and to choose from that, depending on what your body wants. And I wanted to go into that, and little did I know that I would be delving into a life-changing, oh my God, crazy ride that I'm still on and so grateful to be on.
Mm-hmm. So you're actually an instructor of orgasmic meditation, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I teach it now with people.
Awesome. So what is, along those lines, so then what is your definition of orgasm? Because you've been saying that a lot, and I'm guessing that orgasm for you doesn't mean the same thing as it does for the general populace.
Yeah, thank you for asking for that and for clarification. Right. Most people, when they think of orgasm, they think of climax. They think of building up to a high peak, expelling energy, coming down a sharp edge, and sometimes there's ejaculation involved if you're a man, maybe for a woman. And then afterwards, you don't really want to be touched for a while. You kind of have a refractory period that you have to recover from. To me, orgasm, there's actually several definitions, but the one that I love the most is orgasm is that breathing, pulsing life force that births every moment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So orgasm is that feeling of electricity in your genitals when you see someone that you have a crush on. Orgasm is that swelling of your cheeks or your face when you share like you're an erotic truth that you're kind of nervous to share. Orgasm is, it's taking the body into an involuntary state of being. So rather than trying to force or clamp on climax, you are being taken over by this energy that keeps rolling through you. And it can look as very soft and subtle as just lying back and breathing and in total bliss, or it can be this loud, rolling, like deep guttural experience. And climax is a part of orgasm. Do want to clarify that climax isn't something separate, or that it isn't part of orgasm. But climax is one experience of orgasm, and there are many, many, many more that are available. Everything from, maybe just through touching someone's nipple, you're going to an orgasmic experience. Maybe just by deeply breathing and squeezing your genitals, all of a sudden this waves of pleasure overtake you. That's what I mean by orgasm.
So it seems like in order to be able to access that pulse of life, we have to be incredibly present in the body, incredibly present to the life within us.
Absolutely. Presence is one of the keys. You have to be totally not in your head thinking about all the other stuff that worrying about how you look. Another key is approval, or just saying yes to what is in the moment. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily, what were we going to say?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Sorry.
Yeah. So, it's not necessarily that, the analogy that I like to use is, say you're looking at a map and you want to get to the X on a map. Before you can get to the X on a map, you have to be in agreement with where you are on the map first. You can't be like, oh no, I wish I were at the X. Why am I not at the X? This really sucks. Whose fault is it that I'm not at the X? First, you just say, yes, I have a desire. I have a desire to move towards X. And I am in agreement that I am, over here on the left side of the map, even though the X is on the right side. And the more you just say yes to what is, the more, and keep in alignment with your desire or your vision, and just allow orgasm to flow, the more you can easily and gracefully and pleasurably make your way through life.
So it sounds like it's a spiritual practice.
Deeply. I have to say, I emphasize the meditation before I really do the orgasm. The orgasm is just the flash, but the meditation is the meat.
Yes.
It's also a great opportunity to practice communication, because it is a partnered practice. You have to, first of all, express your desire. You have to say, I want to own with you, and that's a big thing when it comes to, being connected to our orgasm, is knowing what you want and asking for what you want. And then there are communication skills that are practiced during the practice itself, which ultimately help to bring that level of attention and approval into the moment, and can then be carried on into our lives.
So this is your foundational awareness and your approach to sex and to life in general, it sounds like. So how does this reflect in your book? Like, what is your book going to capture the essence of this, or what are? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm like, the first thought was like, dear God, I hope so.
Yes, but, I better. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, yes. So we've been talking a lot about sensations, and really touching the erotic. When we talk about sex or eroticism in a sensation-based way, like a tingle of, a spiky tingle fluttering across one's lips. That's something you can feel, right? If I just talk about how beautiful my orgasm is, I don't really know what your beautiful is compared to mine.
It's abstract.
So a lot of my writing is about really paying attention to the moment, and on a sensation-based way transmit the experience of orgasm that each of these women in these stories in the book is having to the audience or to the reader. So that's one aspect of how OM influences my writing. And on another level, it's, about saying yes to the taboo. A lot of what we feel is taboo, we might not say yes to, we might not be in approval of, we might push away or try to avoid. And so being able to say yes to my desires, even though they may not be in mainstream, in the mainstream, or they might be kind of taboo, also opens us to a deeper level of orgasm.
Oh, that just sounds awesome. And I want to hear more about the layout, how you have this book set up, and just the juicy details. Can you give us a little bit more detail about the layout of the book? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. So currently I'm still calling it the working title because I think maybe the subtitle might shift because it does sound like a scholarly paper at this point. But but the first part I really came to me. So I think is going to stick. So the title currently is From 6 to 9 and Beyond, Widening the Lens of Feminine Eroticism. And the first part of the title, I originally was thinking of doing something called like 6, 9, and everything in between. And what it is it's 6 short stories, 9 poems, and visionary photography by this incredible photographer in Los Angeles named Sequoia Emanuel. And these 6 stories capture the erotic awakening of each of these archetypes. And the reason that I love using archetypes is because we see ourselves reflected in archetypes. Each of us has each of these characteristics in ourselves. So when we see their erotic awakening, their approval of the taboo, their presence, their experience, it invites that piece of ourselves out that may have been dormant to come out and play in the erotic sandbox.
That just sounds awesome.
And the reason I chose like 6 to 9, of course, the first thing you think of is 69. So the girls are like, and you think of like, ha ha ha, giggling, kind of like a giggling schoolgirl, schoolboy mentality. And I kind of wanted to highlight that, I wanted to highlight the fact that when we see 69 together, we start giggling about sex. We have this idea of like, oh, it's the sex position. Oh, have you done it? All these things. And I wanted to note that and pay homage to that, and also to start to shift our lens, even wider. So yes, sex has like, haha, giggling 69 and so much more. And this is what this book is offering is, that little piece plus a lot more.
So is this book mostly geared towards women and like arousing women, or I'm obviously it's going to be applicable to men too, but it's about female eroticism. So is your audience mostly women?
I would say probably lean towards yes, but my desire is, these stories aren't what I think of like typical erotica, it's which, is fine. It's not like, here's the part where they have, the really graphic sex and, I don't know if it'll be something necessarily that people will want to masturbate to. I have no idea. Maybe some people will. But my desire is to capture, is also to create literature, more than just like, oh, here's like a quick, hot, flashy tale. Like I want to create something that stirs your soul. So that's why I think, both men and women will be touched by the stories that they read. The stories are, like one of the stories that I'm working on is of a transsexual prostitute. So it's and how she comes in contact with someone who originally looks down upon people who are that and won't interact with her, and through their own learning to get intimate, and not necessarily physically but just like emotionally intimate with each other, they learn to see each other as humans. And then in their erotic encounter, they both touch a piece of that delicate humanity that they were afraid to acknowledge in themselves.
So it's really tales of healing and transformation, and or in sexual context, though, in the context of sexuality and sensuality and eroticism, but tales of healing and personal growth.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, for sure. Transformation, healing, because it's the moment of their erotic awakening. And when you awaken, you're transformed. So
exactly.
It's like, some of if you're interested in hearing the archetypes, I can.
Yeah.
Great.
Please.
So, and also my point in having archetypes is to show that, demonstrate a wide variety of women, rather than just like, here's the hot 20-something with big boobs and blonde hair. Not to say that 20-something with big boobs and blonde hair aren't awesome, whatever, but
they're
like
hot. Yes.
They're hot. But if that's our only view of what is sexy, then we're discounting a wide variety of, possibilities in the sexual realm. So
Amen.
The archetypes I'm working with are the virgin, the whore, the warrior, the queen, the nun, and the grandmother. So I particularly wanted to emphasize the nun and the grandmother because when you think of a nun, you don't necessarily think of her as being erotic. You think of like, well, she doesn't have a sexual life or doesn't have a connection to her sex. And that's actually false. There are qualities of the nun which are, she is devoting her erotic energy, her presence, her approval of life and her life force to the celebration and service of God.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah. So that's why I sometimes call myself a nun to orgasm, because that's what I feel like. I mean, yeah, I have a husband and we have awesome sex, but I also recognize, I have this very intense nun quality inside of me because I feel such a huge amount of devotion to spirit or to the divine. And, I just want to be used by God to share my vision. And that's a nun quality. It's part of the nun archetype. The other thing is the grandmother. We don't typically think of 60, 70, 80-year-old women as being sexual unless you have, a grandmother fetish or something. But most people think like, well, that's done, and that's also false. They're the nurturing energy, the archetype, and also the trait of being a bringer of death. Like that's it's a very orgasmic experience. Death. I mean, it's not any coincidence that the French call climax la petite mort. The little death. So moving into that experience can be incredibly orgasmic and erotic.
And I just have to say, I know quite a few people in their mid-70s going on 80 that are fully sexually active, men and
Awesome.
women. And I just, I think, yeah, in this culture, maybe that's a topic for another show, but how we desexualize people when they reach a certain age and how unfair that is.
Oh, absolutely.
And how important it is for elderly people or people of all ages to have healthy, enriching sexual activity if that's what they want.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Man, when I'm 70, I want the party to just be starting when I'm 70.
Amen. Rocking hard. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's beautiful. So I felt so inspired by the nun description. I love the concept, though, that our sexuality is part of our spirituality. I love that concept. The union of the sexual and the spiritual is just totally turns me on. So you have a poem. You have one of the 9 poems. Now, do the poems relate to the archetypes as well?
They will. I'm still figuring. I've already written all the poems, and they were written during a very rich and painful period of my life. Actually, I was healing from anorexia. I was going through a divorce, but they all were deeply inspired and part of my personal erotic awakening. So yes, they will be attributed in some configuration to the archetypes. This one, I'm not quite sure yet. I have an idea of who it might be, attributed to, but not quite yet.
So would you be willing to share a little bit about share a little bit of the poem with us?
Yeah, I can share the whole thing. It's not super long. So this poem is called Unexpressed Desire. Cool raindrops on my window. A liquid warmth insulates the soft Sunday morning. The gray sky's a cozy backdrop for our scene. My bare right thigh rests on your pajamaed leg. My right hand slipped under your left as my palm inhales the heat from your ribs. You hover on the edge of a waking snooze. A soft snore rises from your throat. A moment frozen with desire. This could go in any direction. On the one hand, I hate to disturb your sweet surrender, like a nostalgic portrait studied by professors and glanced over by disinterested tourists as they rush through the gallery. On the other hand, I want nothing more than to feel your lips brush the side of my neck, your entire fist slowly twisting inside me. Your coarse fingers mash my left breast, squeeze out my nipple, and tug with your teeth. Another soft snore. A resigned sigh. I pull my hand out from your shirt in one cottony stroke, unraveling from you. I tiptoe to the door. Turning in time to see your lazy smile and half-opened eyes. I'll let you get some rest, I whisper, as the door firmly latches behind my back.
That's so rich. It's so rich, and it's so different than what so many people are experiencing in their sexuality. And then also, like, I'm thinking about porn, like the difference between pornography and that, like, chuck fest, which isn't bad. I want to say that, I don't think porn is negative if used wisely. It's how it's used.
Right.
Used in conjunction with this depth and this. Yeah, used in conjunction with this depth and this richness. And so you've often talked about, I not everyone knows, but I follow you on Facebook. So you talk about the difference between porn and erotic voyeurism. Could you expand upon that?
Yeah, I'd love to. So the basic difference that I see between conventional pornography, and I use the word conventional because what we normally think of is just like, man and woman, or maybe two women and one guy, or, just good old fashioned porn. I don't want to, I definitely want to, there's a whole nother category for, like things that are just, like child porn and stuff like that. That's just not cool, in my book. But when I'm talking about conventional pornography and erotic voyeurism, conventional pornography, tends to distance the viewer from their own sexuality. And erotic voyeurism, and I use the word voyeurism because it is you looking outside at some experience of sex, but even though you're on the outside looking in, it draws you into yourself where you actually merge with that experience of sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is that kind of what you're wanting to do with this book, is kind of paint a picture of this sensual, sexual, erotic experience and draw the people in to that experience? Yes. And connect them more deeply with their own sexuality.
Yes. I want to invite out, I want to tease out someone's desire as opposed to coming in and telling them what, or bashing them over the head with, graphic, purely anatomical shots of sex, or, graphic, just kind of, and it's a word I use is called sexationalism. And I think I used that on your show previously, with Lorianne Lothian. It's that experience of, it's like, you get this big flash of sex, and then it's like so flash, it like blinds your eyes, and you're kind of numb and you can't see for a while, or in order to see again, you have to have a bigger flash, and what I want to do is I want to resensitize us to feeling, and also really invite people out to explore and touch their personal turn on, their own desire.
Mm-hmm. So that it drives them deeper.
Yeah.
Self-awareness. And I love that. And I want to say, because, so for me, my relationship to porn, it was actually a healing for me when I allowed myself to watch porn and actually be turned on by it, because I had so many judgments about it, And so when I was at the point of actually my partner at the time, he invited me to watch porn while he pleasured me. And it was such a process for me to go through. And so I found it to be, when used wisely, again, when used with consciousness, it can be a tool to enhance pleasure. Like, there is something really arousing about watching a penis go into a vagina over and over and over again. Like, that totally freaking turns me on. But when it's not balanced, I think that's the thing. It's like, it's just like a climax is one tiny aspect of orgasm, as you were describing. It's when porn is our only access to this multi-layered whole, like, huge realm of sexuality, and we're not connected to the erotic, and not connected to the sensual, and not connected to the beauty that our sexuality has. And it seems like that your book is a fantastic gateway for people to be able to access that aspect of their sexual selves.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally am in agreement with you. And, my intention is not to shame or blame. I mean, pornography is it's huge. So obviously it's serving some sort of need. And my desire is to bring consciousness to the need, so that way we make informed choices based on what we're really wanting. And if at that moment you want to watch some hot anal with a beautiful, young, busty woman, and that gets your goat, awesome. So just knowing what you want and going for it is great. But then also being aware that there's a lot more out there for you from which to choose, and then just making a conscious decision on that. And I'll definitely say that, porn can be fun and hot, and used with couples or alone, can be a great, first shame barrier, as it sounds like it was for you, as well as a way to discover different types of turn on. Like, you may see, two men together, and you may not realize that, oh, I actually have a turn on there on watching two men together, because you hadn't had that experience before outside in everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it can be a great vehicle for exploration, but not necessarily a steady diet of it. It's like it's one door out of many.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is your mission in writing this book? What is your vision for this book?
So the short answer to that is, my mission is to shift our cultural perspective on sexuality from a system of commerce to an expression of our deepest truth.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And as part of your book, I know that you're donating some of the profits to a charity. So what is, have you decided the charity?
I am still looking for the charity. I'm actually talking with someone who's the head of a charity tomorrow. So I obviously don't want to say who yet, because I didn't want to just be like, I'm going to donate to this charity. I wanted the charity to be like on board and working with me. But yes, part of what I've learned through orgasm and orgasmic meditation is that, when a woman is overflowing with orgasm, she's just generous and is full of gratitude. And part of that for me, I get so much gratitude and I, by being able to give back. And that's why I'm donating 10% of the book profits, as well as any money that I raise above $20,000 for the book, to a charity that ends sex trafficking.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you, Candice, where are you at with this book? Like, what do you need to make this happen, and how close are you to making this happen?
Great. So right now I've got about 19 days left for my Indiegogo campaign. So right now I'm crowdfunding, and that's my main focus, is on raising the $20,000 for this book.
Wait. Can I interrupt you for a minute? What is crowdfunding?
Oh, yeah. Crowdfunding is essentially just having people, everyday people who believe in the vision come and donate to the project in order to raise money for the project, as opposed to like finding an investor or, paying it out of pocket. It's everyone who's like, yeah, I believe in this project. I want to donate. And then I've got some cool perks on the side too. So, every time you donate, you get an opportunity to get like, some chocolates or, just depending on how much you donate. So it's kind of a fun way to get everyone involved and enrolled in the vision of the project.
So you say donation, so you can donate like $5, you can donate $10, $25, $100, however much you actually want to donate.
Yep. It goes anywhere from $1 to $100,000 and beyond. So yeah, everything. I'm just so grateful for everything that has come in so far.
So what are some of the perks? I'm one of the perks. I know donated a vulva massage from our Authentic Tantra program. But what are some of the other perks that are being offered with this when you donate?
Well, people can order their own copy of the book. First of all, if you donate at the $40 level, you get a copy of the book, and if you donate at $75, you get a signed copy of the book. Other things are some organic chocolates by this wonderful man named Philippe here in San Francisco. His company is Edible Love, so they're organic, delicious, amazing, made with love chocolate truffles. There's also a feminine empowerment course, an online feminine empowerment course that's being offered by Lauren Sheehan, this wonderful, amazing, juicy woman. There's also massages by Oxygen Massage Therapy here in San Francisco. So you have to be in San Francisco to collect that one, as well as introductory sessions with Ben and Jen Rohde of Explosive Sexual Healing.
Awesome. So it's not like you get the juice from donating, which is really good karma, generosity karma, generates wealth in this lifetime and other lifetimes. So not only do you get good generosity karma, you also get a gift, basically. You get something.
Yeah. If you want to collect, yeah. And there's also these amazing mandala reprints by this woman named Sarah Green. So there's artwork, there's chocolates, there's massages, there's sexuality courses, there's all this amazing offerings when you donate.
So how do people do it? So for those listeners out there who feel turned on and inspired by Candice's work, because I do, and I've already donated, and I might do it again too. So for those of you out there who want to see this happen, who want access to this kind of material, so to juxtapose and to balance what's out there in our mainstream culture about sexuality. So for those of you who believe in it, where can we go to donate to you?
The easiest place is my blog. So that would be theorgasmiclife.com. And then on the right side of the page, you'll see a little widget or a little picture, and it says like Indiegogo page, and it'll have like how close I am to my goal and all that. And you click on that, and that'll take you directly to the Indiegogo page.
And then from there, you just kind of have a menu, and people can pick and choose what, how much, et cetera,
yeah.
et cetera.
And then from there, you'll see the Contribute Now button, and then when you click on that, you can put in your contribution, and then you can choose your perks. It's all pretty easy once you get there. So just go to theorgasmiclife.com, look on the right side of the page, and you'll find the Indiegogo widget, and from there you'll be taken to the page, and you can make your donation.
And you've also been doing with this, you've been doing 69 vlogs in 69 days. So Candice has these really cute videos that I guess they're more than cute. I don't mean to.
They are cute. Sometimes I'm just like sitting there being like, hi, this is what happened to me today. And sometimes they're a little more deeper, but yeah.
But I've been enjoying them. So where can people access those videos? Because then you get to actually put a face to this voice.
Well, they're all on YouTube. So if you just search YouTube user The Orgasmic Life, all smushed together as one word, you can find my channel on YouTube and start, make yourself a cup of coffee and start enjoying the 42 that I have up so far.
Awesome. That's quite an ordeal. So you do a video every day.
I do. And I mean, sometimes, I'll have to skip a day and then I'll do 2 the next day because, something like that. But essentially from now until the end of the campaign, which ends on August 20th, I want to have 69 video blogs up. So just to celebrate and to just, it's also, again, my giving back, my offering. Like, here's what I learned today about orgasm, or here's like my best tip for how to manage, being in a fight with your partner, just like a little 2 to 3 minute offering.
Tidbit.
The
bite-sized bit. But you also, I noticed that you answer people's questions too.
I do. Yeah. I've been getting some questions. So if when you see one of my videos, you leave a comment, in the comment section under one of my videos, I'll read it and I'll answer it in vlogs and upcoming vlogs because I just love interacting with people, and I want to give everyone what they want. I want to to hear what you're curious about, so I can see And also I love questions because it's like, oh my God, I never thought of that. I had no idea. And so I have to go in myself and do research, and like, it, you know, expands me too in my understanding of life and of orgasm.
I love it. I love it. Yes, I love it. Awesome. So for those people that are interested, again, you're going to go to the orgasmiclife.com. And you have 19 more days to jump on board and contribute to this incredible project. Yes, and product. It will eventually be a product as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, project and product. So 19 more days. I'm going to invite you to go to the orgasmiclife.com and join it. Join the movement to transform our relationship to human sexuality, not just female sexuality, but human sexuality.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Well, it has been so awesome having you, Candice. And how about you? Let's see. TheOrgasmicLife.com is how we get in contact with you about the book. How about if people want to contact you for some personal coaching about the orgasmic meditation practice?
Well, you can visit my website, my coaching website, which is CandiceHoldorfCoaching.com. And there's a contact page, and you can click on that, and you can fill out the form there, and I'll get it, and I'll get back to you usually within 72 hours at the latest. So again, you want me to spell that out because my name's kind of
please.
Okay.
Yes. Just so there's no mistakes.
Totally. www.CandiceHoldorfCoaching.com. CandiceHoldorfCoaching.com.
Awesome. So you know what? If you're listening, also, and you're listening to the playback in iTunes, subscribe in iTunes, blah blah blah. I'm actually going to have a page on the Better Love and Sex blog. And so if you go to the radio station page, CTR Network, and you go to the Better Love and Sex page, event page, I will also have a link to the blog, and I will have all this information about Candice there, so you know how to get a hold of her. You know how to get in touch with her, and you know how to work with her in the future and contribute to this awesome project of hers. I can't wait. I can't wait till it comes out.
Yay! Me too.
Yay, awesome. Right on. Well, thank you, Candice, again, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in and joining us this evening. I've been truly enriched, and I've learned so much this evening, and I really hope you have too. If you're interested in Tantra, join us at AuthenticTantra.com. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you next week.